Said I am live on my Instagram and I am live on my YouTube. My YouTube is Purple Lotus Flower 888. Man, you can get it out of my link tree that's in my bio as well.
All right, you ready to get to it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, count you in.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Purple Lotus Flower 888. I had so many questions, you guys, in my inbox, and the questions, oh my goodness, they like a little overwhelming my boxes. I'm trying to go through them and pick out some and answer a few. Some of them I try to answer on my story, so y'all might see it across my story as well sometimes. This question stood out to me. It was from a female, and I've actually got this question a lot. But it's pretty much, how do I heal? First step pretty much to healing. This goes back to when I first started.
Well, you know what? Real quick, I just want to jump in there. Like, people asking questions like that. I guess for me, the idea I need to understand is like, what exactly is healing to you? Like, what does that even mean? Like, to you?
To me, healing is pretty much self-care. It's like just taking care of you. A lot of times throughout our life, we're pretty much living in everybody else's reality.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you're doing things that society is pretty much basing you to do. You're not making your own choices. Because a lot of times you don't trust yourself enough to make the right choices, right?
Okay.
So, a lot of times people don't even know that they need to heal.
Right.
Some people don't know they hurting.
True.
So it just depends on who it is.
Gotcha.
Because you can't say healing to somebody. You can say you need to heal from your past traumas. You need to heal from your past relationship. You can say that, but they like, well, how do I?
How do you do it?
Where do I start if nobody's ever, told me or taught me how to heal? I started with forgiving myself. So this is me answering that question for her, and that's first things first. Forgive yourself. And you're forgiving yourself for allowing things to happen to you that you did have control to walk away from, or whatever the case may be, right?
Gotcha.
Once you do start to forgive yourself, you start to forgive the people that you feel as though hurt you. So I always say you can either write a letter, and I said this on the last video that I did, you can write a letter to the person. You can either decide to give it to them, or you can decide to either burn it up and release it, let it go, whatever the case may be, whatever's going to make you feel better to release that, then you have to do that.
Gotcha.
And if you can't do that, it's kind of hard for you to move forward in anything because you're still holding on to that stuff. Yeah. And holding on to it just causes so many problems. So, yes, starting to heal, first things first, forgive yourself, forgive those people. And sometimes starting out is just stepping away from the environment that you're in.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because you got those people around you too. A lot of people hurt people. They hurt people.
I think that's an underrepresented idea. Forgiveness.
It is.
I think it's very. Yeah. It should be more major. Like for real. Forgiveness, and I think, and I don't want to make it a race thing, but I do feel like in the black community we are really less forgiving than we should be.
Yep.
Definitely less forgiving than we could be, but I think even more so than we should be. So
and that's coming from people feeling like you're gonna judge them. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're gonna feel like you being weak because you're not being revengeful against somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't have to go get the revenge. I'll let the universe work for me.
Because it always does.
I always say, I'm like,
it always does.
So this person did this or did that. Okay. It's your loss, but that's karma that's going to come back to you. Especially when you do something to somebody that has good intent.
For sure.
Like people that deal with me, I have very good intentions with people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say it always was like that. My life, before this time, before I actually healed, I did some stuff, you know what I'm saying, to people. And it was like I knew that karma had to come back some way, and I paid karma a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Your karma gonna come some different ways to come through people, all type of stuff. So yeah, you definitely have to start with that first, and also being loyal to yourself. We be loyal to people, but you're not loyal to yourself.
For sure, that's the thing. And
that is so huge.
And this is something like, this is kind of a side note, but just thinking about, you know, people doing self healing and self care, is a thing though that you mentioned, just about what people think or what people feel like you'll think about them because they're going through whatever situation. And I actually told this to a person yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I can't remember. But I think that's what people's perception of what you have going on or what you're doing in order to do self-care should be the least of your worries, though. Like, if you're working on yourself, the perception from somebody else should be the last thing that you're worried about.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that it's not. Like, if you working on yourself, then work on yourself. What somebody think about it should be the last thing you're thinking about.
That's still when you're still holding on to your ego.
Yeah.
So until you able to let that ego go, then other than that, you're going to always be worried about what somebody thinking, what somebody saying. I knew the moment that my ego was gone. I was like, oh, yeah, I had to get rid of that. You know, your ego, you still have it, but you have it to use it for healthier reasons, not, you know, trying to be aggressive towards things or, you know, do the wrong things with it. But, yeah, it's still there.
Right.
So, when I did start to forgive people and start forgiving myself, I started to actually have more compassion for people and more understand why people do the shit that they do.
Right. Gotcha.
So it allowed me to change my perspective of not only just people, but the world in general, and say, you know what? People hurting out here. You know what I'm saying? People got trauma. They got pain. They got things they suffering from low key. People are suffering in silence out here.
Yeah.
So
and some of them don't know, like you said.
Yeah, and they don't know. Because it's normal. Like, our family and our whole environment totally around us has made everything so normal. Like, it's okay to be sitting up hurt and mourning for years and years and years. You get what I'm saying? And this is nothing against people that pass away. I just look at death totally different as well too, because we sit sometimes and we don't even let the people that passed away, we mourn so deeply to the point you let yourself go and you can't move forward. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of that too is at least in my opinion, I think a lot of that people who mourn, and obviously it's not gonna be for every person, but I think people that mourn that hard are the people who missed that opportunity to say or do the things they were supposed to do for that person in the first place. So now it's just hitting hard because you can't do it. Like, now it's fine.
Then it becomes guilt now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So now it turns from that to now you're guilty.
Exactly.
And it's like, no, that's not what you want to do. So it's important to, you know, you heal from things and release things. Even if this is not heal, we'll say release things.
Yeah.
You know, just like stuff that make you mad yesterday, we shouldn't be bringing that into today. You have to let it go. Like, we shouldn't even be talking about it.
True.
And people already know, because you can't do nothing about it. We can't go back into yesterday and say, hey,
can't do it.
You know, like it's over with.
And how about that though? Kind of just what you just said. How about let's start there? Because I think a lot of people, like the question, right? That's in your DMs, like, how do I start healing, right?
Yep.
How about that though? How about you start releasing stuff first?
Yep.
And then worry about.
Then we'll go to the other stuff.
Exactly, yeah. And a lot of people try to skip that part. Like, you can't skip that part.
No, you can't. You definitely, and even before that part with the healing part, to even realize that you gotta forgive yourself, you gotta take self accountability first.
True that.
Boom. That's first. That's what we just talked about last episode.
Yeah.
So it's levels to this. It's a lot of layers that has to be peeled, but you already seen my growth, bro. You know, been around me.
For sure, yeah, definitely. And just seeing the progress, obviously, is meaning that you mentioned this before about how you know some things, but you're still learning. I think it's been obvious in, you know, the growth of you yourself and the actual podcast itself too. So I think those are things that are noticeable, and it's not an overnight process.
No,
like, it's just not. And
take a lot of time.
Even with these questions that are in your DM, it's like, all right, so person DMs you and asks you about, you know, how do you get started healing, or, you know, how do you get started? I think at this point it's going to be up to them what you do with that information though. Because a lot of people learn stuff. They learn stuff, but you got to apply it. Yeah. Or it don't mean nothing.
And you got to be at a mental level, a certain level, to even receive what I'm saying. And that's why sometimes when it's not that I try to like kind of dummy down things when I'm talking, but I try to put it in a way where you kind of understand what I'm saying, like just seeing the steps, and not only me talking. I have thought I gotta show you too. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm having conversations with you, you also can watch and say, "Dang, she not sad no more. She not in that place that she was in. I was in some dark spaces."
Yeah.
And,
a lot of the stuff
that
a lot of stuff we do is self-inflicted too, though.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
it is.
and that kind of goes with, I guess, what you were saying about accountability. So you can blame a lot of stuff on a lot of people, but some of that stuff, exactly, some of that stuff come right back to you.
And those cycles, it's like, I can't even name the cycles, but the cycles that you're gonna go through is like they're gonna go over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this shit gotta stop.
Right.
Yeah. It's like that's when you like, damn, but some people just don't even realize that, like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal for us to go through pain and trauma for the rest of our life. It's not normal for you to just mourn somebody for so long, and it's like we're stuck.
Right. Hey, so this is a question. This kind of it's not out of left field. I guess it's sort of going with what we're talking about, but like, I guess, all right. Well, I'll ask you specifically then, because it'll probably be easier to answer. For you, as far as this healing process goes. Was it something that was brought to your attention, or was it something that you figured out? And I ask that because I think a lot of times people go through situations and they don't necessarily see it themselves, but then other people see it and sometimes won't too often say something because they'll feel like they're being judgmental. So now you just leave everything unchecked. So like, did you find it out on your own, or did somebody trigger you to say, "Oh, let me see what's going on with me"?
It was my marriage. It was my last marriage. That's the one that triggered me. It's always going to take something.
Yeah, it's got to be something.
It's going to take something. Some people, they have heart attacks. Yeah. You know, some people have bad car accidents. It's like some people come to these near-death situations, and then they like,
epiphany.
It's time now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's time to wake up. Right. And sometimes, and it's only that way is because think about your whole path from the time you was able to start making choices all the way up until now. It's the same patterns over and over again because that's your normal mindset.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So every time you go through a different cycle, you go through a different relationship, you go through a different friendship, you go through like issues with your family or whatever, everything gonna seem normal. Yeah, everything is so normal, so you don't even know nothing outside of that.
True.
And not knowing that's your pain, that's trauma, that's things like people in your family they done did stuff to you. Yeah. You even have women, like the women that have domestic violence issues or whatever. It's stemming from somewhere. That environment they was exposed to that environment somewhere, usually starting in the household, but then that's going to become normal to them. So now they're repeating that same shit because, I'm used to getting hit all the time. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to stick to.
The domestic violence thing is a tough one for me to understand completely, though. And the only reason I say that is because I know you say, like, for a woman, you start feeling like these actions are somehow connected to love, let's say. Yep. Right? But then also, it's something wrong with the dude to be doing it in the first place. So,
I mean, it's him not knowing who he is as well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So, like, how do you diagnose that? Like, what if this is probably a reach, but what if her dependency on those actions is what made him start doing that? Like, what if this didn't come from? Yeah, like, what if it was created because of that? And see, a lot of people don't even think that. Sometimes they think, well, his daddy must have been hitting on his mom, something like that. But maybe it was spurred out of the fact that this is the only thing that she responds to.
Yep. And then another thing crazy, with the man too, him not having the ability to talk and not let certain things out because once again, men hold so much stuff in. Sure. And when you holding all that pressure in, it got to come out some way. It might come out through she done triggered him, and he done put his hands on her, and it's like he felt relief because now that's a norm for him to release his feelings versus talking. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? I'm gonna just put my hands on her, and that's gonna do what I do. And then she's receiving that as love because at the end of the day, he still got a conscience when he put his hands on her. Yeah, he gonna sit there, he gonna think, and gonna be like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. That's what makes them go back and apologize. Yeah. Now they going to apologize, and now she feeling like, okay, he really do love me, or whatever case may be. But like I said, men don't know how to love, but they know who to love. So he might love her.
Hold on, say that again. Say that again.
Men don't know how to love, but they know who to love. Whereas women, we know how to love, but we don't know who to love. You get what I'm saying? And
That's
it makes
deep.
sense.
That's
because
deep.
women, they don't. A lot of times when your emotions is all in the way, that's what always happens. You start seeing the good in this person, but then all of the other stuff kind of like all those red flags.
But because they know how to love, they just don't know who to get that love to. I got you. Damn. Never even thought of it that way.
All the time.
Well, damn, it's kind of... I don't know how we about to get all into this lane, but when you say it like that, though, it makes it seem pointless. Like...
But these are people that's not healed.
Okay, I got you. Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's going to come back 360 because now these are the people that's not healed.
Right, I got you. So once you figure out how to do that, then you'll be fine. But most people don't.
There you go.
I think most people probably, I don't want to keep throwing around the generalization as most people, but a lot of people never come to this point in their life. Like they live their whole life like that. Like people that's just scared. How it is.
It's fear. Fear has been installed into like a lot of people, period. Like people is fearing to love. People is fearing to get their hearts up because they keep holding on to the past when they got hurt. Yeah. I was one of them. I did that for a long time. I did that through 3 marriages. That's the reason why. It's like I'm holding on. I never let it go. And in the process, you're not only hurting yourself, you hurting other people. And it's just a big ass cycle. And it's just going over and over and over again.
They're spending more people into it. And
man, I'm telling you, it become third party situations and everything. But see, once you get an opportunity to learn how to detach from your emotions, which is the biggest thing that I had to learn, I went through that.
That's real easy to say, right?
Man, I'm talking about over and over because you have people that come into your life for that reason. People come into your life, they'll trigger you. You got 1 or 2 things you're going to do. You either you gonna settle with this person and say, you know what, it's stuff about this person I just don't care for. I don't like this, I don't like that, but who else am I gonna be with? Or I'm not deserving of love. If this person really feeling me and they own me, but it's so many red flags they ignore, then they settle for that. Because they don't even know their worth and know that they're deserving of being loved by somebody. I suffered with that for a long time. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, I don't deserve this type of love from this person because due to the stuff that I did or whatever I went through or whatever. So that's why you got to forgive yourself. And
this is what you just said right there. This is where it get a little shaky, right? And this is what I mean by that. I think what you said is definitely true, right? So when red flags come up, you either ignore them or you feel like I'm not worthy of nothing better, whatever, right? Whatever your thinking is at the time. But where it gets shaky though, where it's a kind of a double-edged sword, you got some people who they obviously don't ignore the red flags and they take heed to all these red flags, and sometimes you give up on a relationship before you're supposed to. And I think this is where people get into the gray area because you give up before you're supposed to, and then some people hold on longer than you're supposed to. And I think that's where the confusion come in at. How do you decide though? Because like red flags is red flags.
It's red flags, but you know how you really figure that out because you gotta know who you are internally. Like what's gonna feed you, what's nurturing your soul, what's not. So if you don't know who you are and you don't know like how much love you have for yourself and all that, you're not gonna even know what's going to be.
When to stay or when to leave. There you go. I got you. Okay, that makes sense.
I didn't get to that point now where I'm at. I can come into several situations. I mean, I'm not claimed by nobody. I can date. Whatever, if I want to move forward with you, if I feel like it's something that's not, then I'm just gonna. It is what it is. Even if it was something even sexual happen, it don't even matter. I have to know this ain't for me, and I'm gonna walk away from it. I'm not gonna settle for it. And that goes for anybody. That's even for men. I know that when you date, you go through those beginning stages. Y'all talk, y'all do this, you that, you have sex. After that, people go fucking blank. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now you got another choice. And if it's a woman that's stuck in her emotions, which is I've been there and I've done that, you be very emotional. Now you sitting up here and you like, well, we need to be together now. Yeah. No.
Right.
It don't always work like that.
Yeah. Like, this was the dating
So,
situation. This is what it led to, and that could be
that's
it.
the part right there.
That could be it.
That draws the line after you have sexual encounters. So before you have sexual encounters with this person, you have to already have in your mind, if don't nothing else happen,
you okay with it?
This is it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That person wasn't meant for me.
Right.
Sex is not going to overtake everything.
Right.
Okay, we had sex, so now what? We go together. No, we don't go together. Because you still have more things that you have to work on, because you got to look at it. Now you got to look at it and, okay, this person trying to build a foundation. This person trying to build a foundation. Okay, we talking, we building. Okay, we have sex. We do this, do that. But still at the same time, you got so much other stuff to go. So sex should be the last thing on the list. You have sex, you have sex. You have to be grown enough to be okay with that. Yeah. And if you got to walk away from it, you're not emotionally attached to that person that you having sex with. But if you know that you're an emotional person, that you're going to be stuck after you have sex with somebody, that's when you don't need to do it.
You know what? That's
you got to know who you are.
That's easy to say, though. Okay, I give you that. You got to know who you are. Because a lot of women think that they're not, and dudes too. Like, I don't want to make it seem like
ways.
Yeah, a lot of people think that they're not emotionally attached, and then it's not until something happens that they realize, like, oh shit, I am, like, my heart is in this. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough being a human being.
It is.
It's tough.
It's a lot, and that come from you. That's how you know if somebody really, really did the work on themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And me doing it, and I'm sitting up and I'm like, oh, it's a lot easier this way.
Yeah. Now,
it is.
You got a million questions in your DM. Obviously, I know we only focus on one today, but what I do want to ask you though is, like, going through this process, going through this healing journey. At what point did you become comfortable, kind of giving other people direction? Like, like, when did you come to the point where, damn, all right, I can tell somebody how to do this? Or are you fully there yet? I mean, it's always a working process.
Oh, yeah, it's work every day. Yeah. I literally love the fact that I learn something about myself every single day.
As you should.
If you ain't learning nothing about yourself every day, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it make life a little more important.
It do.
Yeah,
it do.
You got a purpose.
And I was like, ooh, I'm such a big girl now. 'Cause I literally know how to walk away from stuff. I always say, do not pick up shit if you can't walk away from it.
Yeah.
Like, I was so guilty at sticking. We be holding on. It's like, damn well.
You need to let that go.
You need to let this girl go. You need to let that dude go. And you just be holding on. You be holding on to their life. And that's why I was saying the emotional part.
Yeah.
Like, that's it right there.
For sure.
That's what I was guilty of. And only reason why I'm comfortable with even talking about it, because I released it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, if you can't talk about stuff that happened to you, that you feel somebody's gonna judge you about, that means you didn't heal from it.
Yeah, I feel you.
So also doing these podcasts, I already told you, it helped me heal too, because I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling about, oh, somebody gonna judge me. This is my story.
And even as we were talking, before the camera started rolling, and I know you shared the story with your listeners already, so I'm sure it's okay that we talk about a little bit, about your old man. So when you first started doing the podcast, like, you talked about the issues that was between y'all, and now it's like not that all of those issues are resolved, but they're being worked through. So that's progress all in its own. So, like, when
all day long.
Now you got the actual, the documented footage of you not only talking about the work but doing the work. So now when you tell somebody else that, like, if you answer the question in the DM, it's more receivable, because, like, okay, she did it, because I ain't gonna lie to you, at the beginning there, I thought that was the end of y'all relationship. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like, well, damn.
I know my pop's gonna be watching this. Yeah. We talked about it.
I'm sure y'all talked about it. And anybody who listened, who understood, like, what was going on, I think it pretty much was probably like, okay, well, she resolved that by removing herself, and that was just gonna be it.
Yeah.
But now look at it though.
It's funny because it's like life is going to pivot so many times. Like, that's why I don't try to control nothing no more. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this and do that. I do have my visions, I have my goals, I have all of that, but guess what I do? I work on them one at a time. Like, I have so much stuff that I want to do, but I gotta only work on what I can control right now.
Because life is pretty much gonna do what it's doing, huh?
Yeah, because it is. Because, like I said, I hadn't talked to my pops in like 6-something years or whatever, and I was like, damn, I ain't ever gonna talk to my daddy no more, and like, that's just gonna be it. And I think I said it on my first episode, the one I did by myself when I first really came to that point. Like, Candace, you got to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like, this is going to help somebody else.
It is.
You know what I mean? And I was like, but like you said, they can see the process.
The whole process, yeah, for sure. Because if they see that first episode, they be like, shit, that relationship between her and her old man is done. That's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? But not, you see that. And so I do want to ask, you know, just about that, not specifically getting into details, but like, what was that process like coming from changing that whole mindset, changing that mindset of, okay, I'm just going to remove this out of my life to let me figure out how to include this in my life? Like, what made you pivot, you know, that way?
I got triggered. So those of you who do talk to me, I do talk a lot about your triggers. So whatever triggers you pretty much in your lifetime when you're going through certain situations and it makes you upset and you trigger by it, that's something that you need to go fix.
Gotcha.
So I came in contact with, it was something, I don't know what it was. I can't really remember what it was. I might have been talking to somebody, I don't know. But whatever it was, it made me feel avoidance of my father and it got me upset. Yeah. Even going back to me talking to like my sisters, or I might talk to my brothers or something, my sister be like, my daddy calling, and he'll call her phone and I'll just be like, I get upset. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was all kind of things that was happening, and I was like, I need to fix that.
Yeah, figure out what's going on.
Because I should not keep on getting upset every time my little sister want to talk to my dad. You know, ain't nothing going on with that.
Right.
I shouldn't be mad. And then it was like, he'd come down, he'd see everybody, and then I wouldn't see him. I was getting triggered. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even him. That was me. Yeah. Because I was scared. You know what I'm saying? Just fearful of even trying to gain that relationship back, because I thought he was going to respond to me in a hurtful way.
Man, look.
So I didn't want to talk.
Is that like the most awkward position to be in, though? To not want somebody to be a part of your life, but want them to be like, ain't that like the most awkward shit though?
Like,
right? So
I don't want them to be around me, but then you just sad, you know,
when they
like,
not.
Damn.
Exactly. So you actually really do. So it's just like, and that's a thing that you have to confront by yourself. Like nobody can, you know, nobody can tell you that. He couldn't even tell you that.
Nope.
So this is something you have to decide on your own.
Man, I had to deal with that. I was like, man, I gotta fix this because it's going to keep showing up in my relationships too. Like my friendships, anything is going to show up.
Yeah. No, that's dope though.
So I was like, damn, okay, well, let me talk to my dad. But even though I kept saying I got to talk to him, I still wasn't mentally strong yet. Yeah. So I kept on, I was meditating. I was up in my meditation. Remember, I started meditating like 3 times a day.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for sure.
I have to hold space for my emotions. You have to master your emotions in order to do anything.
Hold on. I need you to say that one more time. You have to hold space.
Hold space for your emotions.
Dog, I think.
And you also have to master your emotions to make them decisions. Any decision. It don't matter what it is.
That need to be a quote for real. Because I don't think that people. I don't even think. Because you said it twice. I don't think you understand the impact of that, though. Holding the space for your emotions, dog. Because. Especially for dudes, we get into positions where we don't allow the time for emotion. Yeah. And like you said, by the time it come out, it's erupting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's
where I think, like I said, that abusive stuff come from. And I even think too, not to go so deep, but it can be when men and women are being raped, because both men and women are being raped. These people have stress. They got stuff that's built up that they need to release. Where is it coming from? I don't know. They need to figure it out.
They figure that out,
Man, because it's a lot of stuff. So many things that wouldn't be so, even to the damn music. People be releasing on music. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well,
like,
a lot of people.
Push it out. You got to push it out some type of way.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people ain't just making music. Like, this is really their emotions coming out. Yeah, so that's any art form. So that's, you know, music, poetry, actual art, like, you know, physical art.
See,
all that
once
stuff.
you able to change that around and you use your, you master your emotions, now your ego is turned into a healthier ego. Now that ego is helping you express yourself.
Gotcha.
You know, that's where your creative expressions come from. And that's when people, like, when they modeling, people that's rapping, people that's dancing, that's that ego, but that's that happy ego. They using it to express themselves in a happy way.
In a happy way. Yeah,
you have
sure.
people that's using their ego that's expressing it in a fucked up way. You know, and their intentions are bad and
Right.
they hurting people and this and that and the other, but it's a cover up from yourself.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but you. It's a higher you.
Sure.
You have a lower you and you got a higher you.
Yeah.
Most people that's in America right now, that's across the board, they operating on the low part of their selves. You know what I'm saying? They got to come back up here so they can start using their mind.
Yeah. The low part is comfortable though.
Yeah, but how far are you gonna get with the lower half of you being stimulated?
The low part is comfortable because like it take less aspiration. Now let's be honest, a lot of people
it's less work. Yes, it is.
a lot of people are comfortable with being lazy. So
let them be comfortable.
So how do you convince, like, you know, in the space that you're in now, like how do you convince people to I mean, not necessarily heal, but to identify that they've got something going on, at least like to start there. Because most people don't even want to identify. So like obviously the podcast is a start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that's how you're trying to do that. But like what do you moving forward though, like what do you think you want to do as far as like convincing people that they need to, you know, take a look at themselves?
Only thing I can do is plant the seeds I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You know, everybody not assigned to me either.
And you got a book coming too.
Yeah,
So
I got my book. So y'all be able to read
let's talk
my
about
book.
that. Right.
You can read the book too.
For sure.
But,
Tia Black checking in. What up though, Tia? She said she loves this show.
Hey Tia Boo, I love her too. That's my chocolate friend, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all follow her.
Yeah, she is very chocolate. Hello, Tia Black.
You hear him, Tia?
Very chocolate. Yes. Anyway, so indeed.
You're so funny. Look, Tia, you done got him all off track right now. Okay.
Right. Back to what we were talking about. So, and I know we were talking about, you know, people being fearful of, you know, perspective of other people, and that kind of is what led me to that first question. Which I think I asked you that off air about the questions that you have in your DM. And how you mentioned that a lot of people want to be anonymous. Why do you think that is, though? Like,
people, that's the afraid of being judged.
Just being
all the time. And that's the part that's keeping everybody fearful from moving on to healing is that, and then they don't want to feel the pain.
Yeah, but so many people.
It's pain.
So people are stunting there, right? Because so many people say, I don't give a shit what they think about me. They lying, though, right?
They lying. You can tell by their actions, though.
Right.
You can actually tell. You don't even have to look far. You don't have to do that. You can just tell by people's actions if they even care about what people say.
Yeah.
You know, especially if they worried about their clothes all the time. I used to be like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got to make sure I got on this, and I got to make sure I dress up and look this way, and because they do this and they do that. Or, oh, we go out with them. We got to make sure we stunting because they always see if you get caught all up in that shit, now you losing yourself.
For sure.
But now you trying to impress somebody else that don't give two fucks about you. They probably got their stuff together, but because you don't have your stuff all the way together, you trying to fit in instead of just being who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I got caught up in that. People pleasing and like, oh, I got to make sure I have this on.
Yeah. And like you say, when you're trying to fit in like that, normally it's because you don't know who you are, right? I guess that kind of goes back to that.
Always. It's always going to go back to that. That's 360. You got to know who you are.
So like,
so many people don't.
If you I don't know how long you want to go because I got questions. So all right, so if you like you taking questions in the DM, of course, and actually too, guys, if you're checking out right now, you can actually give her a call. She'll talk back to you today. It's 313-444-3032. 313-444-3032. If you got some questions, what was I getting ready to say? Oh yeah, so like for people who are like listening right now or have got questions in your DM that want to get answered, what would you say? Because I know you kind of explaining healing, but like what would your what's the word I'm looking for? Advice. What would be your advice for someone who's trying to figure out what their triggers are? Because this is a thing, right? So people know that they get triggered, but then they don't actually know, I guess, obviously, until it I won't even say until it happens, because sometimes you get triggered and don't even realize that you got triggered. Like, you don't even know what happened. So, like,
that's if it pisses you off.
Anything that pisses you off. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you should be at peace all the time.
Yeah.
You know how many people be around me now? Like, I literally, And this is me getting to know who I am and knowing how I control my own environment. You get what I'm saying? So when I walk into a room, I shift the energy just on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm always feeling amazing.
Always.
Okay.
I had to ask you that one time. Like, come on,
Anybody
cuz.
know they call me?
No, I
You
called
see me? You talk to me?
I'm like, what's going
How you
on?
doing, Candace?
I am amazing. Like, hold on, cuz. Like, is you really, like, in real life? Like, come on. Today, you having a great day today.
Awesome. And then
Right.
I tell people, y'all have an awesome day. Y'all have a great day. Everybody
sure.
knows that. So when you learn that you are able to do that, everything falls in place.
Yeah.
So your perspective, that's you changing your perspective of people, the stuff that's around you, and also holding that space for your emotions. So now, number one, I'm not emotional.
Right.
When I walk into whatever building I am in, I know who I am.
Right.
I got boundaries.
Yeah.
You have your standards together. You know what
sure.
I'm saying? It's like everything just you align with just yourself.
Yeah.
And just knowing that you're not worried about what nobody got to say about anything. Because you know your intentions good, your heart good. When you speak to people, it's coming from your heart space. When you have conversations with people, you already know what you're doing. You pushing out. So I'm giving the universe a 100% of Candace.
For sure.
So I'm able to just get it back.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So you have to change. That's what it is. You got to change that part.
Yeah.
Change on how you look at stuff.
Yeah, change your perspective. Now,
Yeah.
where do you think that comes from though? Our constant need for like the acceptance of others. Like, where do you think that comes
People
from?
pleasing and stuff.
Yeah, like where did that even come from? Like, is that hereditary or
Nope.
like where did that shit come from?
It's just we all, when we come out the womb, everything chose for us. Like, that's you not having choices. Like, you ain't had choices for a long time.
Yeah.
Your parents choosing your religion, they choosing what you wear, just everything.
Yeah.
And it's like you didn't have choices. So you went by pretty much what everybody else or what you thought society wanted to hear. And then TV. You got TV, you got radio, you got all of this other stuff that's in front of you, and you seeing all these people do these different things, and you like, what one I supposed to be doing? And everybody just follow whoever they follow, but they always ignore themselves.
So now you're just trying to figure out how to fit in.
There you go. So now you find yourself people pleasing. I never, for some reason, I'm like, I would be around certain people and I'd be like, do I really, really want to like be like this? Or I still had my higher self was still telling me like, no, Candace, this ain't it. This ain't you. But because you become like you have a survival's remorse type attitude where I know that I'm supposed to be further than this.
Right.
But because these people, I'm loyal to them and they cool with me, I'm going to stay back here because I don't want them to feel like I'm leaving them behind type shit. Right. That's the type of attitude that you start having when you become too loyal to everybody around you but yourself. So now you're not choosing yourself.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So I ain't even know to choose myself. I'm like, dang, I'm choosing people and thinking like, oh, I don't want to leave her behind because me and her cool. I've been knowing her for 20 years. I've been knowing her for 15 years. Or
that don't mean nothing.
That's my best friend and this. So you get caught up in that. And then now you kind of stuck. Not to say that your best friend or whoever it may be is stuck, but they just not on the same journey. Everybody's going to go on a different journey regardless. Her journey going to go up and evolve, but it's going to go another way. Yeah. And it's just not matching mine. Or maybe I'm just moving at a little bit more faster pace than what you are. So I can't stop what I'm doing.
And that's okay.
And you supposed to be okay with that.
You're supposed to be okay. But I think that's the thing. That a lot of people ain't okay with that.
They're not okay with that. And see, that's why I have to carry myself the way that I carry myself so that I'm able to show you how to treat me too. You get what I'm saying? I might go through the motions with you, do all this other shit, and then after a while, I sit back and I be like, sometimes I'm used as a lesson towards other people.
True that.
Like, sometimes I don't even know that I'm being a lesson to people.
I mean, yeah, theoretically, I mean, I think that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think nothing we do is for ourselves. Yeah, it's for somebody else.
Used, so it's like, now that's why I want people to look at situations where whatever is going on with you, just know that, don't ask why. Yeah. After it's done with, you should say, what I learned from that.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just it. So I be wanting my women to get this way too, because I've been through a lot of relationships. I've been through a lot of male friends with benefit stuff, things of that nature that happen. If I would have been able to master my emotions like I have them now, and knowing that a lot of those was just lessons,
right?
Because that person that's meant for you, they not gonna go nowhere.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be full blown conversation, connection. It ain't gonna be just be compatibility. Like, oh yeah, we like boxing and we like playing pool. That's outside physical things.
Right.
But internally, are we really connecting? Like on a deep soul level connection. Like, is our purposes connecting?
Right.
Is our values connecting? Is all of that stuff connecting first? Like, you gotta have conversation. Kids. You gotta talk about religion. You got so many sensitive, conversations that has to be had.
Shit, right.
And then in the
you
midst of that,
want to have them before you have to have them.
Yeah. And then in the midst of that, you might have sex, whatever case may be, but then
Right.
so you can't let sex come in the way.
Yeah.
You gotta also let that go. That's just part of the motions that you're going through when you're dating or whatever the case may be. But this is things that we don't realize. And then after all of that happened, and then you get to the point you like, no, ain't none of this matching.
Yeah.
You only got one or two choices.
This kind of, I mean, it's still talking about what we're talking about, but this is a question that I think I've asked it before, or we've encountered it, and I think we probably was on opposite sides of the coin, but I just want to throw it out there today too. So we, I guess we'll end it off, or we'll round it down with this question, I guess. And anybody who's checking out right now, you can actually give us a call. It's 313-444-3032. That you can call in right now. And you can talk live on the air. But this is my question, though, right? So, obviously, it's important to heal in order to be prepared for any type of relationship, whether that's friendship, romantic relationship, or whatever, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But is it possible that you found your way into a relationship unhealed, right? And you realize that, and both of y'all, realize what's going on. Is it possible to truly heal while you're still in a relationship, though? I don't know if we gonna come to an agreement on this stuff.
It's gonna take a certain stage mentally for both of you guys to be in to be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
Because number one,
you don't sound too confident about it, though.
Because it's like already kind of going through that. It's a mismatch situation.
Yeah.
It has to totally be balanced. It's like you have to be at a point, okay, where a woman does not have any insecurity issues. That man, it's like the insecurity issues can't be there. Confidence level needs to be there. Communication needs to be there.
Yeah.
If you can at least communicate through a lot of stuff, it's possible that y'all can do that. But it's gonna be at a. I'm talking about. It gotta be at a tough. It's work.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of people don't want to do that work. So you would notice if that person want to do the work, because you'll either feel resistance or you're not.
And then,
because it's like,
so if you in that situation, and let's say you're healing at a faster rate, how do you resolve that, right? Because that's going to create some more attention. Because now you go kind of be looking like, hey, nigga, I did the work.
Person up here, you don't supposed to lead that person. It needs to be equally balanced.
So what do you do with that? Do you step away and let them try to figure it out?
That's when you have to know who. This is why I have to tell you need to be by yourself.
Be by yourself, yeah.
Because being by yourself allows you to know who you are. You start knowing how valuable you are as a person. You start knowing your worth. You start being able to build healthy boundaries and sitting there and saying, nope, I don't want to deal with this no more. I remember I dealt with that. I'm not going to deal with this. This. You're able to write all that shit down and stand on it.
Yeah.
Now, when you're able to stand on it, now when you get into these situations, you already know. So it's kind of like it's hard to like really heal with somebody when you don't know who you are, because you still wrapped up in that person's reality. Uh-oh.
It's
you
hard,
still wrapped up in their reality too, though.
It's hard, but we're not gonna agree on this. Cause I know it's hard.
You could look at that scenario in so many.
I know it's hard,
ways.
but it's just like I don't want to make it seem as though it's impossible. Or you kind of.
I'm not saying it's impossible,
but it's damn near.
To be dumb. I'm telling you, but they still got to be at a certain level mentally though in order to do that.
Yeah.
So if you got two broke people together, that's just like.
Yeah.
What we doing?
We're broken together, and we are mending the fence.
A man
together.
Can't even honestly move forward and executing any of his goals and his visions if he don't know how powerful he is as a man. Men make a lot of choices on their emotions.
Yeah,
So do women, but men do too. You
Yeah,
get what I'm saying? And if you're going to be the leader and the provider of your household and you want this woman to submit to something with you, if you don't even have a vision or a goal, what's she submitting to?
Right.
Because what we doing? Where we going?
Yeah.
Like, you want to lead, but where we about to go? If you don't really know how powerful you are, you not pulling down, you not being used as a vessel and using a God within yourself to execute your goals, and then you have a woman that don't know how powerful she is as a queen to back you up very intuitively to see your vision and support your vision to help you execute that. What we doing?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, why are we here?
Talk your shit then.
This stuff I'm just learning.
I feel you.
And I'm learning every single day, and I'm like, it's even coming across people that I'm talking to, whether it's male, whether it's females, it don't even matter. And it's like, I'm at the point now I can feel the hurt in people. Like, I'm so compassionate. I don't judge. So it's like, I can see that you going through some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might like me. I might like you. But you going through some things. You get what I'm saying? And that person might peep, oh yeah, she's still kind of going through some things. She's still learning. But that's for us to be able to take those as lessons.
Right. So if you peep that though, like, do you just?
I ain't talking about being together. I'm talking about people that's just, you know what I'm saying? People that's interested, you interested in this person, or you're just dating or something like that.
I related that to being together.
If you already in a toxic relationship.
I mean, you make it seem like you can't get out. Like, I don't want to believe that.
No, because
I don't want to believe that.
If you in this toxic relationship, you obviously don't know who you are because you ain't walked away.
But I'm saying,
you accepting things that's not acceptable.
If you're in a toxic relationship and you are both aware and you are working on healing yourselves inside that relationship,
how are you both going to be aware and y'all not even pouring positivity into each other in a toxic relationship? You're just pouring negative over and over and over again into each other. So how are you going to even be aware of it to change it?
At that point, when you become aware, like, do you just break up with the person? Like,
sometimes that's what has to take place. Sometimes if it gets to the point where you can't take it, then you need to walk away and you need to go get yourself together. And you need to be okay with that.
Coming to the point where we're having a conversation and I realize, like, you know what? I've been doing this and the third, and I know I'm contributing to this toxicity, right? Okay. And then we both agree. Like,
y'all have to agree.
You don't just walk away from that. You try to fix those things, right?
Okay, now you try.
Yeah. And then if it don't try, sick of that shit up.
It's just the whole point of not settling and not always thinking that you gotta have because it becomes a trauma bond. You know what I mean? So if the work cue it takes,
I just laugh because I see that on the show.
Anybody that has not put the work in on themselves, you can't tell me anything because I've been putting the work in. You feel me? And it's showing. Yeah. So you can't tell me it's work.
Yeah.
I can tell if you're gonna do the work, and I can see it if you're gonna do it or not, because I already been through it. Yeah. So I'm already know if you bullshitting anyway. That's just fair. What it is. That's not fair. Because I did a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, this might be the exception to the rule.
To peel, Q. Let me tell you something. It don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
No. So those toxic relationships, like you said, you can try. It's gonna be a lot of hard work, but it's hard to. It's hard for people that's hurting and that's in pain and trauma to be alone too. Yeah. See, I suffered with that part, like not wanting to be alone. So when you don't want to be alone, you start settling with stuff because you don't know who you are. Once again, you don't have boundaries, and those boundaries cause problems. Like when you don't have them, no boundaries is open season for anything.
That's true.
How are you going to be able to create boundaries when you're around a whole bunch of toxic, negative shit? Like, you literally have to get rid of the environment in order to heal yourself, to even become conscious, to know and be aware of what the hell is really going on. Yeah. So if you constantly stay in them same environments, which is negative, that's what you're going to get back. Yeah. So how are you going to, between two people that's in trauma bonding, how are they going to see that? Yeah. So it's going to take one person. And it's only going to be that one person that's going to break away. And it's usually that chosen person. I ain't going to lie to you. That's just what it is. So that person that you might have been with before you woke up, they were sent there to do what they were supposed to do. Yeah. But you was also supposed to learn from that and you're supposed to move forward. They got their own journey that they got to go on.
Right.
They might have to go and hurt a couple of more people.
Right.
You get
They
what?
might have to go on a hurt tour.
And themselves.
Right.
Before they get to their awakening stage or where they got to be at and say, you know what, this is time out for that.
Yeah.
So you got to look back on some of your relationships that you had in your past. Mm-hmm. Pay attention and now look at how that person might be versus how you are. That one person might just be like, damn, man, I remember when I was with her. Now she healed and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now she the woman that I wanted her to be back then or this and that and the other. You got to look at yourself and say, well, damn, did you take self-accountability as well? Or she just left you behind and started healing, but did you heal? Because guess what? You still repeating the same relationships you repeated after you left her alone.
Yeah.
So now you really need to look at yourself. See, that's what I had to do. After I got to my third marriage, I had to look back and I'm like, damn, is this something? It got to be something I'm doing. I can't just keep repeating this over and over and over again.
Right.
And that's when but it's not for everybody. Everybody is not going to wake up and do that. Some people just going to keep repeating it. So when you are that person.
Because it's easier.
Because it's normal. It's so when you are that person that's waking up and you realize that shit and you become conscious, then now you need to move forward another way. Now you faced with choices. Yeah. We're going to make this choice and still go back down that same road. Mm-hmm. Or we going to jump over that fear factor where your success is at. Yeah. So I had to choose. I'm like, no, I'm going to choose success. Yeah. So I'm uncomfortable right now. Yeah. But in order to make myself comfortable, I got to stay uncomfortable. So if I'm uncomfortable, I know I got to move my ass. Right. The moment I get comfortable, I'm like, nope, I got to go do something else. Right. Because you don't want to get that way. Yeah. Then that's when that settling come in. You start getting, it's too much. Your past start, you know what I'm saying, coming in and all that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to deal with none of that.
Yeah. I can do that. So that's the only question we addressing today, though. The one that's
that's a long question, man.
It kind of is. So if you
that summed up like everything.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, if you want to sum it up real quick, as a final sentiment on that question. Again, for the people just chiming in, if you want to reread the question and then
Shot, you just got done doing a podcast, bro. You up on here?
Yeah, had me on there for 4 hours.
My phone doing all kind of stuff.
Right. So, if you just want to restate the question and then give a, final summation to the answer you want to propose to our anonymous, y'all quit being scared.
Hey, Diddy.
Quit being scared. Just say what's on y'all mind. No, you ain't got to be anonymous.
Yeah, say what's on y'all mind. Why don't y'all call that phone. Diddy, call that phone. I see you on there talking about, hey.
Right, Diddy. What up, my boy?
Hey, BFF.
All right, so go ahead and restate the question, and then go ahead and give your answer.
So the question today, you guys, was how do I heal? As me and Q stated prior to that, some people don't even know that they need to heal. Some people don't know that they're hurting. Some people don't know that they're in pain. Simply due to the fact that the environment. So if you're always being in a negative environment and the people around you don't know how to heal, they don't know how to tell you to take a break and give yourself self-care and loving on yourself and things of that nature. If you don't have nobody telling you that, then it's kind of like you're learning so many things on your own. So this is a journey that I'm obviously on, and this is my self-care journey and this self-love journey. So I had to get to the point where I love myself so much unconditionally that those people or the things that did hurt me in the past, it no longer, it just doesn't do anything for me. I was able to release it. And that's one thing we do have to learn is releasing it. So don't allow things that happen in your past to keep on hunting you every day and you're just sitting in it. And you're having regret, you're feeling guilty, or you want to have revenge against somebody, the universe works in some real magical ways. So trust me, you don't need to try to get karma back on nobody. Just forgive them, forgive yourself, and you move forward past that situation. I say this all the time, ladies. Women, we set the tone for a lot of things. Women are very high in emotions. Certain times of the months, certain times of the season of the year, we do have a higher peak of emotions, but you have to learn how to master those emotions because our black men, they need us. They need us to be able to be vulnerable enough and give them sacred spaces to be able to talk to us. If we notice, like women, we're very expressive. We know how to talk. We know how to, communicate things sometimes a little bit more than you guys do. So if we could be a little bit more softer and be in the heart to listen to them, then we can get a lot of them to be able to talk and be the leaders and be the providers that they want to be. We got to uplift each other, of course. It's definitely a pour into me, pour into him thing or he, she thing or whatever. But
Right.
I'm noticing that us as women, we are very intuitive, and we do have a little softer spot to make those things happen. So I think that would actually that'll bring about like all the disconnect that we have now. It'll bring all of that back together if that can happen. Women, it's too much stuff on TV. It's too much stuff that's like creating this other reality of them trying to be somebody else and not really
Right.
tapping into they self, like knowing you dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know I figured it out now.
Yeah.
When before, I might not have thought I was that dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't have no confidence. My self-esteem was gone and all of that stuff. And I'm like, damn, that keeps you at a certain level to where you don't feel like you can grow.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, so ladies, y'all dope. Y'all real dope. Y'all just got to tap into y'allself and get to it.
Yeah. And if you don't have someone to tell you that, it's okay to tell yourself. It's okay to tell yourself that. Like,
I always say, I
for
wish
real.
there was a me.
Right.
I wish there was a me back in the day that could tell me I was so dope.
That's it. Tell yourself, dog. Because not all the time are you going to have somebody that's going to pour into you like that. So sometimes you got to pour into yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Always fill your own cup back up. Be your own knight in shining armor. Nobody is going to do it for you. You are in your own way if you do not make those choices. So always remember that your success is on the other side of your fear. I was scared for a very long time to do a lot of things, so those days are over with.
Success is on the other side of your fear.
Yeah, you
And
already know that.
You dropping a couple of jewels out here.
Man, Q, it's funny, y'all. When I first came home and my brother introduced me to Q, I was still in a little dark space a little bit.
I couldn't
still
tell.
was.
Well, you was working on it though. It ain't like you
I
was.
was.
Yeah, you was working on it though.
Yeah, I had to come out that shell. That was right before I went into solitude for like 6 months. And that was the darkest place I had ever been, yo. Like, I was, like, going through a depression, but the whole time, which was funny, I was still being used as a vessel to, like, really pour out.
Yeah.
I was still pouring out into people, and I was still feeling kind of like empty still in the inside. And I'm like, damn, I let this go. I let this go. It was like I had just left Atlanta. I'm leaving everything behind, and I'm like... I turned around, I'm like, damn, I gotta sit to myself. I really can't point fingers at nobody no more.
Right.
Like, the whole time. And I was like,
So I
that
gotta take this one
judgmental stuff.
alone. Yeah.
Yep, I gotta take this journey by myself. And
For
that's
sure.
where now when people do things or I come encounter with whoever and they do certain things to me or they say certain stuff, I know how to literally release it so fast now.
Yeah.
You know, and then I know how to turn it back around. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And make it, and my day's still gonna be amazing. It's never
Yeah.
gonna change.
For sure.
So I just try to change other people's day. Because I come across people and I can see it. I'm like, damn, I used to take stuff personal.
Yeah.
That's another big thing, especially with women. Oh my God, we are so emotional to the point where a man can just say something. And I noticed that too. Like when I was in my marriage, he wouldn't even be mad at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I'm taking everything. All right, what'd I do?
Yeah.
Why
And it
you
ain't got
yelling
nothing
at
to do
me?
with
It
you.
only got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm saying about women have to learn who they are. When you learn who you are internally, you won't take things personal.
Yeah.
Now your emotions and everything is in check.
Yeah, because we have to do that all the time. Once a month, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, it ain't me.
So
She
you
really
gotta
just
do
going
it.
through something. Yeah, she really just going through something. It ain't me. So we
Man, you gotta do
understood
a
that.
self-check.
Right, we understood that.
Yeah.
On that note, are you going to be going live at any point before the new year, or is this going to be your last one of the year? We got
What
a couple
doing?
weeks.
We got Christmas next
Christmas and then New Year, so.
week. I might be going down to my daddy house. Let me
Okay.
see something. Dang, I don't know what happened to my...
Died on you. Yeah, so if you wanted to, yeah, I was just asking because if this be the last one of the year, then you can give some little end of the year sentiments, or we got a couple weeks though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can slide one in there.
I supposed to go. I'm wondering when I go to my dad's house. I supposed to go to his house. I think Friday.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to see.
So
what
the Friday
everybody else
before
is doing. Yeah, I think
Christmas,
I'm gonna
okay.
go live in my daddy house.
Oh, that'd be dope. Yo, no, that'd be if he agreed to that, dog. That'd be hella dope.
He ain't gonna care. I might just have to do a video just talking to him, kicking it with him so y'all can see where he at.
That'd be dope as hell. Do that.
Now he watching. I think he watching my Instagram right now anyway.
Yeah, do that. That'd be dope. Yeah, that'd be dope for sure.
My sister, I got my sister, my nieces and nephews to be there. So
Okay, do that. Yeah, do that. All right. So we'll hear from you again before the end of the year.
Yeah, I hope so. You know I'm gonna tell you. I end up calling you.
Right.
And I'll let you know whichever one. But
that'll work. All right. So what's your final sentiments you want to leave with the people today?
That's it. Heal y'all. Heal y'all.
And thanks for the people leaving DMs. If you're not afraid, you don't have to be anonymous.
Yeah.
But if you just want to be anonymous, that's fine.
Hey, I try not to. When y'all send me them DMs, I swear I be wanting to tag y'all name and, but
to make sure that y'all get the answer, right?
Yeah,
you want the response.
I understand it. But you know what? They'll come back in my inbox and say thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Or whatever the case may be. I don't know how I got here. Mm-hmm. I'm just being obedient to my purpose. And
I just to the place where people looking for you. I
just want to let y'all know that because I'm like, the journey, what I looked at in my past was not this way.
Yeah.
I had a whole nother place that when I was like, I'm going to be a doctor, and people didn't know that worked at the hospital with me. It was like, I was awesome when I was working in the hospital. You know what I mean? It was good. I had good work ethics and everything. So it was like, then to go to baking. Wasn't your thing, though. Yeah. And that all streams back too. It's a lot of us doing things that we don't even want to be doing.
Yeah, just happen to be good
because you
at
never tapped into who you really are. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Because like I said, we be living in everybody else's reality.
Yeah.
I read a book called The 4 Agreements. I think that's what it was. It's the 4 Agreements. It's the 5 Agreements. And the power of the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
If y'all get an opportunity, read those books.
All right, definitely on the readers list.
It's dope to see you, and it's like, I don't know who that is, but hey, talks with Todd. That's on my live.
Oh, okay.
Those books right there kind of put you in a different perspective too, to understand from the beginning and the end of how you got there in certain places. So it's like being obedient to your purpose is what it is when you do tap in. And you can't do nothing about it.
Right, facts.
Like, you can't literally turn. I tried to run away from doing the podcast. Know how long I was like, I kept telling him, like, all right, Q. Yeah. Right. And it just kept coming back around. Nope. And see, that's the stuff. When you scared of it, that's the stuff that you're supposed to be doing.
Gotcha.
So you just got to step out. And it always be beautifulness that come out of that. So when I did decide and I said, okay, I want to do this, you hooked me up.
For sure.
Everything is dope. I love
Success
how my intros
is.
Yeah, I love my intros and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I love the feedback, and I also love the fact that it's helping me still heal.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep, to talk about it, so.
No doubt.
I just want you guys to just talk about stuff. If y'all can't talk to anybody, y'all can always inbox me. Eventually, my podcast is going to lead to my book. My book eventually will lead to something else. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm here for it.
Speaking engagements and all that stuff.
All of that stuff. So I just want to enjoy the journey. That's what I'm doing. So enjoy your journey, not your destination. Sometimes you can't really worry about that destination at that moment, but whatever steps you got, it's a next step to the next step. People say, well, what's next? Next step.
Right. For sure. Yeah, on that note, Doug, enjoy your journey, not the destination. And success is definitely on the other side of fear.
Yep, that's
all right. Yeah, this is episode 3, man. Thank you, Candace, for checking out. People who listen in live, don't forget you can watch the replay at www.eblockradio.com as well as on the Lotus Flower 888 YouTube page. God, why I couldn't get that out?
I got 6 pages.
Yes, this is the case. All right, so to the next time, I guess we'll see you live at your pop's crib and shit. Hopefully, Hopefully he agrees. So, even if it's not live, at least just record something.
Yeah,
and then we'll post it for sure.
Y'all make sure y'all follow me, Candace _lovelifting.
For sure.
Purple Lotus Flower 888. Both of those are on Instagram. Y'all can follow my treat page at Cream Treats 4201. I also have Facebook Cream Treats 4201, and also my regular Facebook is Candace Parker. And I'm out. Peace. Much love.
Peace out, y'all.
That was dope.
For sure.
Hey, I don't want to share.